Hi everyone, my name is Matthew, as Brett mentioned, and I'm married to the beautiful Carmony. And Lillian Grace Cruz is my daughter. She's 1 year old, and we've been married 2 years in total. I'm so encouraged by Sunny, your first verse, your first chapter. Um, if I had to have a heat map of my Bible for the past 15 years of what I read, exclusively, the one that stands out the most of the chapters most read is Psalms 23. And it says, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. And I'd like to share from my own life how this has encouraged me. The title of my sermon is God, our shepherd. The Lord is my shepherd. And the Lord is your shepherd. And to share a bit of a story, when I was a child, my mom will like this one. When I was 10, I was at the V&A waterfront, and a situation happened where I was naughty, as 10-year-old Matthew was typically, and I was not given ice cream when everyone else is given ice cream. I deemed this situation to be unacceptable. My brother had received an ice cream, my best friend had received an ice cream, and I got very angry. I think that's the most angry I remember being when I was 10. And I deemed that the response of this anger that I'm feeling was to just become lost, to rebel and just mission, and just like have my mom and gran and brother feel anxiety and stress because now they need to find me and I'm somewhere in the V&A. And I'd even like run along a bit and see them and then run further away and remain lost until my gran found me. And that was my response. And this response surfaced again as an adult in a very serious way, this behavior that I had. And it came about as a result of going through a breakup that I went through that had me feeling a lot of pain and heartache as a result of the breakup. And things had not gone my way. And as a result, I got angry because I did not get what I wanted. A lot of I's in there, my path. And I had used the situation to give myself an excuse to be rebellious, an excuse to go away from God's path. And the logic went like this. I thought to myself, well, I thought I was following God's path in this relationship. I thought I was going along, and I felt this pain and heartache. So what's the point of following God's path then? And it exposed in me a false belief or false theology where I had thought that if you do good, then you get good. And if you do bad, then you get bad. So I was like, what's the point? I'm trying to do good over here, God, and I'm trying to follow your path, but I'm experiencing pain and heartache. So what's the point? So let me just follow in my own path. That was the rebellious streak that I went on. It was for a solid 2 years. And I pursued the paths of unrighteousness, my own path. I pursued what I thought would give me fulfillment, kind of let the rail guards loose, and I was potting it up, I was tendering it up, and just kind of doing whatever it seemed like my friends were doing that were worldly to try and find fulfillment, and just following my own path. And it was then when things came to a head after 2 years, when I was in my moment of greatest despair that I've ever experienced in my life, where God came in and spoke to me and pulled me back to his flock. And what had happened is I'd, in the peak of everything, taken, sad to admit, but a party drug for the first and last time, a party drug that had given me false happiness and flooded my brain with serotonin. And I went around trying to spread happiness to everyone around me because I was like, oh, well, I'm happy, they're sad, let me share with them happiness. And it reminded me through that process that I used to be like this. I used to be someone that would go and try and share God's love, try and share happiness, try and bring other people up instead of just focusing on what will make me happy, what can I do to be selfish and get fulfillment. And the day after that, and this is why drugs are so terrible, the crash happened, and I had a feeling of great despair. And it was in that feeling of great despair that God started talking to me. And he came and found me when I had gone astray from the 99. And he showed me that, yes, despite feeling some pain along the path that God had for me, or that I thought God was leading me on, despite feeling pain and heartache and sometimes discomfort along his path, still the best way to be is to be like Jesus. The best way to be is to be loving. And he showed me actually that I was being very dangerous in my approach, and that I had gone away from the way of love. I'd gone in the opposite direction, actually, towards selfishness. And that I could have actually continued on that path indefinitely. And I broke down and I cried the hardest I've ever cried for about 10 minutes and rededicated my life to God. In Matthew 18, verse 12, it says, if a man has 100 sheep and one of them has gone astray, does he not leave the 99 on the mountains and go in search of the one who went astray? And I'd like to share with you some encouragements. After that situation, I went back to my home cell. I shared with them what happened. And as I was sharing, there was a lady in the home cell that was smiling at me. And it seemed like there was a divine light over this lady. And that lady was Carmen, and we got married 4 years later. And if I can share, this is the better life. I'm currently in the better life that I could have ever imagined for myself with my own plans and my own path. And I'd like to encourage you. In John 10, verse 27, it says, Jesus says, my sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. And the life that God has planned for you is better than anything you can imagine for yourself. Anything that you can imagine for yourself. This life, my mom and dad being here, the whole family, everyone together, the Proverbs 31 wife that I have, the beautiful wife that I have, I could not have asked for and could only be God. So whenever Gabe encourages me and says, oh, you got such a wonderful wife, Matthew, I just say, it can only be God. It can only be God. And so I'd like to encourage you, if you are feeling tempted to be unrighteous, or if you are feeling like you have strayed, or that you are wanting to stray away from the path that God has for you, I'd like to encourage you, there's nothing for you there. There's nothing for you there. There's just death and discussion. There's just death and destruction for you there. There's no greener pastures. But God is leading you towards the green pastures. And He will lead you besides the waters. He will restore your soul and lead you in paths of righteousness. Thank you very much.